All right, welcome everybody to the NBC Game of the Week. This game was played August the 25th, 1973 between the Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals. Reds won this game in real world 6-4. Before we get going, this is the standings as it currently is right now in the National League, based on mostly the Strat computer. The Cardinals are in first place, 3.5 game lead over the Pirates, only 2 in the loss column rather. And San Francisco leads Los Angeles by 3. Cincinnati woefully underperforming. They are 7 games under what they should be, and San Francisco is 10 games higher than they were in real world. So that's where all that's coming from. Hello, Brian B., Kenyon, Brandon Baker, and Ben. Good to see you all here. I'm still sipping on my last cup of coffee. Tabby is right next to me on her perch. But we're going to hope she stays there, and we're going to hope for no feline delays. Except maybe a planned 7th inning stretch delay or something like that. But other than that, we don't want to have any delays going on here. There are your starting lineups, your benches, and your bullpens for this game. Rick Wise, a right-hander, against Don Gullett, the lefty, for Cincinnati. The only thing I have not done is the pitcher hold quotient with the catcher. Don Gullett is a hold rating of -2. Johnny Bench is a -4. That's a -6, but of course -5 is as low as it can get. So it's going to be tough for the Cardinals to run against that combination. Rick Wise is a 0 hold. Ted Simmons is a -1, so Rick Wise with a -1. Ballpark effects in Cincinnati. Singles are 1-7 for lefties, only 1 for righties. Homers only 1-2 for righties and lefties, which is really surprising because I always thought that Riverfront Stadium was a hitter's park. But that's what the Strat-O-Matic ballpark effects right here for Cincinnati. 1-2 for home runs and a 1-7 or a 1 for singles. That's what they have. Like I said, I always thought of Riverfront Stadium. Maybe later on, maybe they changed the fences or something. I don't know. Brian B., you're the expert on that, if Cincinnati historian maybe. So maybe you can tell me what they did or didn't do or whatever as to what was going on with that. Let's get everything over here where I can fit it on screen as I'm looking at the lap. That's one good thing about doing a live stream is I can see what you guys are seeing. When I'm recording, I can't do that till after the fact. So I'm thinking I can still fit the lineup board for the most part in here and keep the dice tray and the score sheet in place. So I think that's all decent. Do the focus just to make sure it's not any problem. If you hear a slurping sound, it's just me with my coffee right here. Trying to finish up my last cup of coffee for the day. And we are ready to go. Programming note. This is the last Saturday that we will have a 1 o'clock or 1:15 start. With the onset of college football, I am moving up the game of the week to 11 a.m. or 11:15, somewhere in that neighborhood, to try to not compete with college football. Hello, Chuck. How you doing? Tabby's right here beside me. So going forward, starting next Saturday, it's going to be at 11 o'clock, or there, within 15 minutes of 11 o'clock, because I don't want to get to college football and try to compete with that. Plus, there are games I probably want to watch myself. So that's where we'll be going with that. If all things go well, then tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, I'll be on Jeffrey Guterman's channel playing the first game of the 1969 ALCS as a co-op. So I'm managing the Orioles. He's going to manage the Twins. And then tomorrow night, roughly at 7 o'clock or so, I'd say, it's going to be the Boston Red Sox hosting the Cleveland Indians, as Detroit lost their game last night to the Yankees. So Boston's still in it. So Boston has to beat Cleveland to keep the season going. They'll be at home at Fenway against the Cleveland Indians. So that's just a couple of programming notes right there, just to get everybody caught up. Hello, Brandon and Kenyon, in case I missed you guys. Ben and Brian B. And Chuck, I think that's everybody that I can see at the moment. Yep, that's everybody I can see at the moment. Okay. I'm not very good keeping up with the chat, so if I miss a comment or miss seeing somebody come in, that you'll know why. All right, here's Don Gullett. And in 73, Don Gullett was 18-8 with a 3.51 ERA. Again, Cincinnati won the game real world 6-4. All right, leading things off for the St. Louis Cardinals will be Lou Brock. Now he's going to cut into the lineup board a little bit here, I think, but that's okay. I don't want to go too low on this because then you'll lose. Maybe I can do it this way. How about that? Can I do it that way and nobody gets cut off? How about that? If I keep it there, then at least when the Cardinals are batting, it won't get cut off. When it comes up there, I might have to slide down. I don't know. Brian B. likes this thing, so that's why I do it. I don't even know why I still do it, but I do it anyway. Just for the heck of it, I guess. All right, so Don Gullett finishing up the warm-up tosses. Tabby is still doing her grooming on the perch. She's behaving. I'm going to leave it that way. There's the dice. I mean, Cardinals and Reds pretty much same color, so no advantage there on coloring dice. All right, so here we go. Can everybody see everything okay? Looks like on my end that everything is showing up the way it should, so I might even be able to get a little lower, but I don't want to lose the peripherals, so I might just keep it where it is because I don't want to lose, you know, the score sheet and whatnot. So we're going to try it. All right, here we go. Let's play ball. Don Gullett to Lou Brock. Game of the week is underway. 3-9 for Brock against the lefty. Is a strikeout. So Don Gullett puts the K on Lou Brock right away. One down for Ted Sizemore. He's playing second base in this game. Gullett, 4-7 against a right-hander. 1-10 is a single. That's a 19, though. It's going to line it to third. And that is snagged over there by third baseman Dan Dreesen. So out number 2. And that's going to bring up Tommy Agee, former New York Mets star of the 69 series. He's in center field for this one. Gullett, 4-5 against the right-hander. It's a fly to right, so it's a 1-2-3 inning for Don Gullett. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the first. It is St. Louis nothing, and the Reds coming to bat. And Rick Wise will be on the mound for the Cardinals, and he'll be opposed by Pete Rose. And I'm going to have to cover this up. I really don't have any choice. It's just when the Reds are up here, the batter's going to be covering it up just a bit, so hopefully that won't be too much of a distraction. I don't know. I think I can get a little bit lower, though. Let me try to lower this down so we get closer to the cards if possible. Let's see how it looks. Looks like it's curving for some reason, so maybe I need to fix that. Don't want it overly curving. Hello, Spokane Steve. How are you doing? Boy, I really messed. I got that. Let's get that back the way it was. I had it right the first time, I guess. Too much tinkering, I guess, on my end. Let me get this thing straight here. All right. So I think that's about as good as I'm going to be able to get it. Quite honestly, I think that's as good as I'm going to be able to get it. All right, so Pete Rose leads it off against Rick Wise. Bottom of the first, no score. Wise, 2-6 to Pete Rose, and that's a 1-12 double. That's a 5. It will be a double for Pistol Pete Rose. Charlie Hustle with a leadoff double. He will be held at second base because he runs well. Doesn't steal much, but he does run the bases very, very well. First havoc roll of the day and nothing happening. Here's Joe Morgan, little Joe. 6-9, Wise to a lefty. It's a fly ball to left, and that's out number 1. Pete Rose has to hold. So Morgan is out, and that brings up third baseman Dan Dreesen. I think Minky's on the bench, so he could play third, but he's on the bench. Giving Dreesen a go at it at third base. Wise, 2-8 to the left. Dreesen, 2-8 left-handed. Single to left field. Single to left field. Lou Brock is a +1 arm. Pete Rose is a 16. Being held makes him a 15. The +1 brings him back to a 16. He's going to try to score. The question is, if they try for Rose, Dreesen will take second. But, it's a 1-16 to score him. If you throw for the cutoff man, it keeps Dreesen here and keeps the double play in order, and I think that's what the Cardinals are going to do. Lou Brock's going to concede the run, and they will keep Dan Dreesen at first base. So RBI single for Dan Dreesen, and he will be held. He has to be held because he's got an asterisk by his number, but he won't be trying to steal. But they want to keep the double play in order and minimize the damage. If you throw through for Pete Rose and don't get him, Dreesen takes second, and you got more problems. Wise will be facing tough Tony Perez. The double play would get him out of the inning. 4-9 against a right-hander. Ground ball first base B. They don't get the double play. They do get the fielder's choice. Not as good as the taster's choice, but it's the fielder's choice. 3-6, and there's 2 away. Perez not being held at first, and here's Johnny Bench. That's a good suggestion, Brian B. I had actually been thinking about that, and particularly once we get to September with the expanded rosters, I may start doing that. I think I might, because like you said, you can see the starting lineups. You don't really need those. The only thing that helps with the starting lineups is when I start doing double switches, it might look a little messy on here, and it probably looks messy up here too. So, yeah, I think it's probably a good suggestion to just stick to the benches and the bullpen. So I may adjust my template to do that going forward. It's a good suggestion. All right, so let's see here. 2 down. Did I roll? I can't remember if I rolled the havoc or not, so I'll roll it again. All right, Rick Wise to Johnny Bench. 6-6, and that's a 1-3 triple, but it's a 16. It's a single, 2 stars. So by not throwing through and allowing Dreesen to get to second, he would have scored on that single. And he actually would have been on third base after a fielder's choice. So the single by Bench will move Perez to third base. So runners are at the corners. Bench will not be held. And here is Ken Griffey. Ken Griffey. Nothing going on. Rick Wise to Griffey. We get a 4-8, and that's a strikeout. So Rick Wise gets out of the inning with a strikeout. They get a run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. So at the end of 1, it is Cincinnati 1 and St. Louis nothing. Now Tabby has jumped down from her perch. She's over kind of just on the floor giving herself a bath, so hopefully she'll keep herself entertained for a while. And now Don Gullett back up, and he'll be facing Ted Simmons to lead things off. It'll be Simmons, Torrey, and Reitz. Gullett 2-4. Simmons 2-4 is a foul out to Johnny Bench. 1 away. One Hall of Famer retires the other. And here is Joe Torrey. Another Hall of Famer, but not for the playing, for managing. Although I guess playing helped too. 6-3. Ballpark diamond shot, but again, it's only a 1-2, and that's a 16, so that will be a fly to left. That'll bring up Ken Reitz, the third baseman. Reitz, 5-8 for Gullett, is a pop out to the shortstop, Darrell Chaney, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Don Gullett. Go to the bottom of the second, still 1-0 Cincinnati. And that'll bring up for the Cincinnati Reds, Cesar Geronimo, or Cesar Geronimo, but I think it's pronounced Cesar Geronimo. Rick Wise. 3-3 for Geronimo is a ballpark single, and that's a 1-7, but that's a 12, so he will line it. Let's see here. He will actually, what I like to do on these failed ballpark things, instead of having so many liners to second and short, is if the bases are empty, I keep the original roll, so it's actually going to be, or original results, that's actually going to be a fly to right. Just my little tweak. Technically, by the rule, we're supposed to line out short, line out second, but I don't buy that. There's too many of those. So, all right, here's Darrell Chaney. That's why I say play the game you like to play the way you like to play it. All right, 3-5 for Chaney against the righty. Strikes him out. 2 down. And that'll bring up Don Gullett. And number 3 card for Don Gullett. He uses pitch rating card number 3. Wise, 6-2. Gullett is, let's see, Gullett bats right-handed. So right-handed batter, 6-2. Ground ball pitch. Well, it's a ground ball pitcher X either way you go. There's no other way to avoid it. So we bring out our defensive charts for the first time. Ground ball pitcher X. And Rick Wise is a 3E6. 3E6. Can he get to it with a 3? 3 and a 4 is going to be a G3. He just does get to it. E6, he's got to avoid 3, 13, and 18. And he does. So Rick Wise makes the play to retire Gullett. 1, 2, 3 go the Reds. We played 2. It's still 1-0 Cincinnati from the Queen City. Or is it Queen City, Charlotte? I keep forgetting which city is which. I know the Charlotte they call the Queen City, but I thought Cincinnati was called the Queen City too. Maybe not. I don't know. Don't know everything on those things. Somebody knows, they can let me know. All right, so Bernie Carbo, one of the few lefties in the lineup for St. Louis other than Lou Brock. He's in right field. Cincinnati is the Queen City. Okay, I thought Charlotte, maybe they call Charlotte the Queen City too. I don't know. Maybe they don't call Charlotte the Queen City. I don't know where I'm getting that from, but I don't know. It's irrelevant. Here's Carbo. 3-9 for Carbo against the lefty is a strikeout. Strikeout. Carbo goes down on strikes. And here's Mike Tyson. Gullett, 5-5 against a righty. Ground ball shortstop X, that's Cheney. And Cheney is a 3E32. So Darryl Cheney, a 3 and E32. So on a 3, Cheney will need a 5 or higher to get to this. And he does, right on the number. And then he is an E32. That could be trouble. E32, 13, 15, 17, or 18 are trouble. And that's just a 7, so it's a good play. Good play for Cheney as he retires Tyson, one shortstop retiring the other. And now Rick Wise is using pitch rating card number 6. He was a very good hitter in his day, was Mr. Wise. Gullett. 1-9, and that's a walk. So it's the first base run of the game. It's the pitcher, Rick Wise. He draws a walk, 2-out walk. Of course, he's not going to be held. And Lou Brock is the batter. But first, havoc roll for Gullett in the game. Gullett to Brock. 4-9, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Gullett takes care of business. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on the walk. Go to the bottom of the third. Still 1-0. Favor of the Cincinnati Reds. And we're back to the top of the order. Pete Rose to lead things off. He doubled and scored his first trip. 6-7, and that's a strikeout this time. So Pete Rose goes down on strikes. 1 away for Little Joe. Little Joe flew to left. First time he came up, 5-12 is a fly to center this time. So he flew to left, now he's flying to center. 2 down for Dan Dreesen, third baseman. He had an RBI single his first time up. 4-6 to a lefty is another single for Dan Dreesen. He's 2 for 2. So Sparky knew what he was doing, putting him in there. Dreesen will be held because he's got that asterisk, and it means he gets an automatic lead if you don't hold him. So you got to hold him. He's not going to go anywhere, but you do have to hold him. Rick Wise is a -1, so I don't think they're going to try to steal, but you do have to hold him, not give him a free base. Wise, 3-6 to Perez. That's a ballpark blast, but again, it's only a 2, and that's a 14, so it's just a fly out to the warning track for out number 3. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. We played 3, and it's 1-0 Cincinnati, holding on. All right. Let me look at something here real quick before we move on. And we'll talk about next week's game before I forget. And remember, that will be approximately 11 o'clock Eastern. It'll be the Houston Astros at the Los Angeles Dodgers. Jerry Royce against Andy Messerschmidt. I know I like to do that. I had been doing the flip-flopping from American to National, but since the pennant race is pretty much all in the National League, except for the Orioles and Red Sox, I'm kind of going back to the National League because the Dodgers are trying to catch the Giants. So I thought that was the game that made the most sense. So Ted Sizemore will lead off the top of the fourth. So that'll be next week, approximately 11 o'clock, give or take a few minutes, from Dodger Stadium. Astros and the Dodgers. Gullett to Sizemore, 1-7, and that's a ground ball to Joe Morgan. One away. And that brings up Tommy Agee. Agee flew to right his first chance. 5-6, and that's a fly to center. Geronimo hauls it in. 2 down for Ted Simmons. So Simmons, 3-10 for Simmons against the lefty is another walk. So a 2-out walk issued to Simmons. He is not going to go anywhere, not going to be held. And here is Joe Torre. Nothing on the havoc. Gullett to Torre. 6-10, and that is a ground ball to short. That's going to end the inning. Nothing doing for the Cardinals. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the fourth, still 1-0. Favor of Cincinnati. And now I want to do something real quick, Brian B., to maybe take your suggestion and see if I can do it on the fly. Of course, it would be more official next week. But I want to try this, assuming I can find my tools. I got a stack of stuff here on this seat, and stuff is buried all over the place. There they are. All right, so I'm going to try something here. We are going to try something here. See how this goes. How about that, Brian B? How about that? There's your bench and your bullpens right here for both teams. Maybe going forward, I'll just do it like that because, like you said, the lineups are already on the score sheet. Since I'm showing the score sheet, you already have the lineups. So hopefully, I mean, it looks tacky now because it's split up, but hopefully you get the gist of what I'm talking about. But I need to lower this so it can fit in here. Okay, so that's what we're going with. All right, so Johnny Bench is your batter. Singled his first time up. 5-9 is going to be a fly to right field. Bernie Carbo, former Red, puts it away. 1 down for Ken Griffey. Griffey, a strikeout victim. 2-6, and that's going to be a ground ball to first. Joe Torre to the bag himself. 2 away for Cesar Geronimo. Darrell Chaney on deck. We get a 4-9 against the left-hander. That's a line out to short. Tyson snags it. And it's a 3-up, 3-down inning at the end of 4. We're still looking at a 1-0 ball game. Gullett has a fatigue of 7. Wise a fatigue of 8. So they're both in excellent shape as far as that goes. So Gullett back out. And he'll be facing Reitz, Carbo, and Tyson. Reitz, Carbo, and Tyson are due up. Reitz, Carbo, and Tyson. Reitz, Carbo, and Tyson. That's a 2-8 for Reitz. That's a pop out to short. Darrell Chaney is there, 1 away. I'd have to tape this down because I keep moving it every time I slide a card over it. I'll figure it out for next week, Brian B. We'll get it all figured out. Gullett to Carbo, 2-8, and that's a 1-9 home run. That is a 9. It is long, and it is gone. Not only is the shutout broken up, the no-hitter is broken up all in one fell swoop. Let's look at it again. 2-8 against a left-hander right here. Bring the card up a little closer maybe so you can see it. Dice are 2-8 against the left-hander, which means a 1-9 is a home run, and that is a 9. See a little dot right there? I'll turn it around for you. A little dot right there. That's a 9. That's a 6. So this is a 9. So either way, 9 or 6, it's a home run. So home run for Bernie Carbo. Breaks up the no-hitter and the shutout and ties the game. And all that in one fell swoop of the bat. This is 2 years prior to Carbo doing it to the Reds with the Red Sox with his pinch hit home run in Game 6, but he does it to him here in 73. Here's Mike Tyson, 412, and that is a split chance on the Super Advanced Triangle. 1 to 16 is a single, so that will be a base hit for Tyson. He's aboard, and the way Rick Wise can hit, they're not going to bunt. They're going to have him swing away. Tyson not being held, I don't think. Let me see if he's got an asterisk. He does not, so he will not be held. And here's Gullett. 5-7 against a right-hander is a ground ball, second base X. And with the runner not being held, second baseman doesn't lose anything on their defense. He's a 3 E18. Is Mr. Sizemore. I'm sorry, is Mr. Morgan is a 1 E10. My bad. Morgan's a 1 E10, so a good chance of a double play. 1 and a 6 is going to be a G1, so it's a possible double play. He's an E10. 4, 16, 17, and 18. If you don't get those, it's a double play. And we get a double play. It's going to go 4-6-3 to end the inning. So a run on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left thanks to the double play. But we are now tied going to the bottom of the 5th thanks to Bernie Carbo's home run. 1-1, bottom of the 5th. And bottom of the order, Cheney, Gullett, and Pete Rose due up for the Reds. Cheney struck out his first chance. Oh, didn't use the D20. Hold on, let me fix that. Now something's really going on with my computer here. Something popped up out of the blue. I don't know what it was, but anyway, make sure we got the focus here fixed up somehow. I think I got that kind of messed up a little bit. Putting the chart up there, so let's see if that fixes it. Hopefully it does. Cheney, switch hitter against Rick Wise. 2-5. 1 to 17 is a single. That's a 16. It will be a base hit. And that will set up Gullett to bunt. Gullett on his pitcher card is a bunter. Of course, the corners are in, so he becomes a B bunter. So I'm going to leave his pitcher card out here because that's what's relevant at this point. He is now a B bunter. So we get the bunt chart out. B bunter. So we'll roll and see who fields it. The bunt is put down and it is sent to the, or is in front of the plate, so Johnny Bench has to get it. No, Ted Simmons has to get it, my bad. Ted Simmons has to get it. And now as a B bunter, we're in this category here. That's an 8, and it's a good sacrifice. So good sacrifice by Gullett. It's going to go 2-4 as Sizemore was covering first. And going to second is Cheney. So Gullett does his job. Runner in scoring position to go ahead run for Pete Rose. Wise to Rose. 2-5 for Rose, and that's trouble. 1-2 is a triple. 3-20 is a double. It doesn't matter. Runner's on second. He's going to score automatically. And Pistol Pete Rose, his second double of the game for Charlie Hustle. And the Reds reclaim the lead 2-1 on the double by Charlie Hustle. 2-5 means a 1-2 is a triple. Anything else was a double. So he doubles. He will be held. And here's Joe Morgan. Wise to Morgan. 4-5 to the lefty is a pop out to second base. Sizemore is there. 2 down. And it's all up to Dan Dreesen. Third baseman. He's 2 for 2. Again, Rose being held, trying to keep him close. 6-4 to the lefty is a ballpark single check. But 1-7, and that is a 7. But it's only a 1 star. So Dreesen now 3 for 3, but Rose can only take third on those ballpark singles. You only get 1 base. So even though there's 2 outs and he's a good runner, he only gets to third base on that. So runners are now at the corners with 2 outs. Dreesen will have to be held because he has that asterisk there. He's not going to go anywhere, but they will have to hold him on. And Tony Perez is your batter. Wise, 3-6, and that's a ballpark blast for Tony Perez. But again, it's only a 1-2. Even though that's a 4, it's not going to cut it. And I think that's the second time he's had a failed home run blast. So Tony Perez getting cheated by the stadium there, but the Reds do pick up the run to take the lead. They do it on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. At the end of 5, it's 2-1 Cincinnati over the Cardinals. Don Gullett back out, and he'll be facing the top of the order, Lou Brock, Ted Sizemore, and Tommy Agee. Brock is 0 for 2. He struck out twice. 4-8, and he's going to walk this time. So now we got an interesting battle. We got the good base stealer in Brock trying to get the lead, and of course you got Johnny Bench and company with a -5 pitcher hold rating combination. So even if he gets the lead, it's going to be a 1-12 if he gets the lead. But I still think it might be worth it. So he needs a 2 through 6 or a 12 to get the lead. It's a 12, but it's also a 2. Chance of a pickoff. I'm sorry, a chance of a balk, rather. Chance of a balk. Gullett's move is or balk rating is a 4. That's 10, no balk, but now Lou Brock cannot get the lead, so he's got to hold. So Sizemore steps up, facing Gullett. 4-4, and that is a ground ball third base X. That is the third baseman Dreesen. He's a 4 E27, so not very good. Hoping for a high D20 roll. On a 4, he needs, let's see, he needs a 7 or higher to at least get to this. 14 he does get to. It's a G2, possible fielder's choice. Dreesen with the defense is an E27 at third base. Has to avoid 9, 12, 16, 15, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, and 18, basically. Needs a low number, basically. Oh, we didn't get it. That's a 17, and he was an E27. That's a 2-base error on Dan Dreesen. 2-base error on Dan Dreesen. 17 is right here on the E27. So it's a 2-base error on Dan Dreesen. And that will move Brock to third base with nobody out. And that's the danger you have putting somebody like that at third base. You get the offense, you get 3 hits, but you also have bad defense. And now that will send up Tommy Agee. All right, Brian B., if you're still around, I'll let you manage the Reds if you like. Would you like the infield in with nobody out, play back? How would you like to handle that, Brian B., since you are a Reds aficionado? We'll give you the first dibs to making a call on this. And if anybody's a Cardinal fan, they can make calls for the Cardinals as well. You're right, Kenny. Now, I haven't seen a lot of 1s pop up yet. The infield is in, according to Brian B., so the infield is in. First the Havoc. Nothing going on. Here's Tommy Agee. Infield is in. 1-9 for Agee, and that's a strikeout. So it doesn't matter how you are in the infield. That's a strikeout. A huge one, too, for Don Gullett. That brings up Simmons, and I'm assuming the infield is still in since it's only 1 out. If you have him in with no outs, you certainly want to have him in for 1 out. So that's a 2, chance for a balk or a pass ball. Chance for a pass ball on Johnny Bench. And Bench's pass ball rating is a 3. That's a 2. It's a pass ball on Johnny Bench, and automatically we hear the chance of rigging right here. But Johnny Bench lets one get by him. Pass ball. That's going to score the run to tie the game and move Sizemore to third base. So obviously a rigging on this because Johnny Bench, who thinks he's going to make a pass ball, and he did. Now the infield is still in for Ted Simmons. 4-5, switch everybody right-handed, is a fly ball right field B. That's a sacrifice fly, and that's going to give the Cardinals the lead. Ted Simmons, a sacrifice fly. It's now 3-2 St. Louis. 2 outs, base is clear now. Gullett, 2-10 for Torrey. Ground ball to Morgan to end the inning. But a huge error on Dan Dreesen. Huge error on Dan Dreesen. Both these runs were unearned against Gullett, for what it's worth. So 2 runs on no hits, 1 huge error, and nobody left. Go to the bottom of the 6th. It's now 3-2 St. Louis. And Sparky is not happy. Rick Wise, we back out. Now he's got the lead. And now Johnny Bench trying to atone for that pass ball. And he's 1 for 2 on the game. Could use a big one here. 5-6. Won't get it. He grounds to Tyson at short. For 1 away. And that brings up Griffey. Wise. 5-5 to Griffey is a ground ball shortstop X. So now we're looking at Tyson. He's a 3E44. So a chance for the Cardinals to give one back to the Reds on an error. He is a 3E44. So we're checking the 3. And that's a 6. A 3 and a 6, he'll get to it. But the E44 is dangerous. E44, he needs to avoid an 8, 13, 16, and 18. So that's not too bad, actually. Could have been worse. He's got to avoid 8, 13, 16, and 18. And that's a 10, so he makes the play on a tough hop. Mike Tyson does it again. And here comes Cesar Geronimo. 2 outs, base is empty. 4-2, and that's a ballpark blast. But again, it's only 1-2, and that's a 5. So Geronimo will fly out to right field to end the inning. 3 up and 3 down for Rick Wise. 6 innings in the books. It is St. Louis 3, Cincinnati 2. And now this is the fatigue inning for Don Gullett. Have to keep an eye on him. This is his fatigue inning. Brandon, do you have anybody you prefer to warm up in the bullpen? I'll show you who the available guys are. They're on the thing here, but Dick Bainey, I never heard of him. He's 2-1 with a 2.98 ERA. Pedro Borbon, Clay Carroll, both had 14 saves, and Tom Hall, a lefty. And then Randy Tomlin, a lefty, but he's on the computer. I have to use him off the computer. Don't have him carded. So anybody you want to be looking ahead to warm up, you let me know. I was leaning toward Clay Carroll, but I could always go somewhere else. Doesn't matter. All right, so Ken Reitz. Hall and Borbon, you got it. Hall and Borbon are loosening. Gullett against Reitz, 5-8. Right-handed, popped up to short. Look at that. Ken Reitz has popped to short all 3 times. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But he has popped up to short all 3 times, probably off of Gullett's card. Although I do see some pop out to shorts here as well. But very unusual to have 3 pop outs to short. All right, here's Bernie Carbo. He got the ball rolling with a home run last time. 111, and that's a pop out to first base. So Perez will haul it in. 2 down for Mike Tyson. Gullett to Tyson, 4-5. Fly ball to right field is going to end the inning. So it's a 1-2-3. So Don Gullett will keep his full endurance. He is scheduled to bat second, though, this inning. So, Brian B., if you want to pinch hit, you let me know that, too. And you can see the list of pinch hitters that the Reds have available on their roster. Lefties they have are Tolan, Stahl, and King. Everybody else is right-handed. Let's see. What do we have here as far as averages? Tolan was only 206. Stahl, 225. King, 186. So the best lefty they have average-wise is Larry Stahl. But if you wanted to go, away from that, they got some good right-handed hitters. Gagliano's 290. Costco, 280. Minky's only 191. Plummer, 151. But they have Costco and Gagliano are better averages, but they're right-handed. So you say Tolan, okay. Tolan only hit 206 on the season, but we will use Tolan. He will pinch hit for Gullett. We can close the book on Gullett now. Gullett gave up 3 runs, but only one of them was earned. That was the home run by Carbo. It's the only earned run he gave up. He went 7 innings. Gave up just 2 hits. They were both in the 5th inning. That's the only 2 hits he gave up. Walks, he walked 1 here, and I think he walked the pitcher Wise, and he walked Simmons. So 3 walks. And as far as strikeouts, 1, 2, 3, 4 strikeouts I've got him for. So 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and he is set to take the loss. However, if the Reds come back and take the lead this inning, he would be qualified for the win. So he could win it, could lose it. Never know. But it's going to be Darrell Chaney, Bobby Tolan, and Pete Rose due up for the Reds. We are at the 7th inning stretch, so I'm going to take a quick stretch, check on Tabby. Tabby's doing well. She don't really want to disturb her right now. So we're going to sally forth. But so Tolan will be coming in the game, and then coming up for the Cardinals, just look ahead, Brian. Rick Wise is the scheduled leadoff hitter, and then you got Brock and Sizemore, so that's righty-left switch. So if you want to bring in Bourbon, we can do that. If you want to bring in Hall, we can do that. You let me know either way. If it depends on if they take the lead or not, we might want to wait. So I don't know, see if they take the lead. But just looking ahead. So, all right. So Darrell Chaney is your batter. Now we're in the 7th inning, Brian, so we can pinch hit. So if you want to pinch hit for Chaney, you're more than welcome to do so. He's not a very good hitter. He hits 181. He hit 181 on the season. He is 1 for 2 with a run scored. And if they took him out, the shortstop would have to be Dennis Minke, although he's not very good at short. Or Gagliano. No, Gagliano can't play there. Dennis Minke would have to come into short as a 4E24. So you want Hall coming in, and you want Costco to pinch hit. No, Costco. What'd you want? You want Costco to hit for Chaney, okay? Costco's going to hit for Chaney. So Costco's going to hit for Chaney. That means we need a new shortstop. And it's going to have to be Dennis Minke. He's the only guy on the roster I see that's rated for shortstop, is Dennis Minke. So Minke will be taking over at short. Not very good, 4E24. Not that Chaney was anything special. So it's going to be Costco and then Tolan, the two hitters. And Minke will take over at short. Hello, John. How you doing? All right, so Costco is your pinch hitter. And Minke will come in the game to play shortstop as well. So Rick Wise facing Costco, 3-2. I forgot to stretch now. Let me stand up and stretch because I don't want to be stiff sitting here so long. So take a few seconds, check on, make sure, Tabby's nice and quiet. Don't want it to bother her. Let's check on focus and everything, and it looks like it's, well, it never hurts to improve it, I guess. So here we go. Bottom of the 7th. Pinch hitter Andy Costco. Costco, a 280 hitter on the season. Righty on righty. Costco followed by the lefty Tolan. 2 pinch hitters in a row. Wise, 4-4. Ground ball third base X. That is Reitz. He's a 2E12. 2E12 for Ken Reitz. So to get it, he needs a 3 or higher to get to it. It's a 2. It's going to get through for a single. Instead of the evil D20 being a 1, now all of a sudden the evil D20 is stuck on a 2. So it will be a single. And now it's E12, third base. He's got to avoid 12 and 16. And he does. But it's going to sneak through for a base hit. Pinch hit single for Costco. He doesn't run well at all, so if you want to use a pinch runner, we could look at, let's see, who do they have on the bench that runs? The best runner they have on the bench is Stahl. I don't know if you want to use him or not. He runs at a 13. Costco runs at 11, so they're pretty much the same. Neither one of them can steal. So I'm thinking it's going to probably be better just to leave Costco out there because you're not really gaining anything, in my opinion. Neither one would be held because there's just no threat. So Bobby Tolan is your pinch hitter for the pitcher Gullett. Wise, nothing happening. 2-7, and that's a ground ball to second. Double play. 4-6-3. Double play. Bobby Tolan, unfortunately, a 2-7 is a ground ball to second. The A+ only is in advanced, not super advanced. So that's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. And Minke now will come in and play short going forward. Here's Pete Rose. He is 2 for 3. He's got to try to get something started. 6-7, switch hitter batting left. And he struck him out. He's not tired yet, so his fatigue innings next inning. So would look promising for the Reds comes out to be nothing. And we go to the 8th inning. It's still 3-2 St. Louis. And now we need a new pitcher for the Reds, and it's going to be Tom Hall. Oops, wrong stack. Let me get the Reds pitchers over here. Left-hander Tom Hall. Hall was 8-5 with a 3.47 ERA, 7 starts and 8 saves. So Tom Hall is your new pitcher. Now Tabby is making noise. Don't know if you can hear that or not. We may have a feline delay. I'm going to try to avoid it, but we might just do it because she is making noise. What do you got to say, Tabby? What do you say, Tabby? What's the matter? What's the matter, Tabby? You stay there. We don't need a delay right now. All right, coming up for the Cardinals is Rick Wise. His pinch. He's a very good hitter. He's pitching well, so I kind of don't want to take him out. I'm going to stick with Rick Wise. I don't see any reason to take him out. He's got the lead. And now Gullett can't win it, obviously. He can only lose it. So Hall, 6'10" to a right-hander, is a fly ball center field X, and Cesar Geronimo correctly rated as a 1. So we know he's going to make the catch, or get to it, I mean. E4 is his only chance to blunder this, is an E4, and we have to roll a 16 or an 18 for that to happen. And we don't. So Cesar Geronimo makes the play. 1 down. And that's going to flip the order over down to Lou Brock for another lefty-on-lefty matchup. 3-4, lefty-on-lefty for Brock. A 1-3 is a home run. That's a 15. It'll be a double. A 1-out double for Lou Brock. And anytime you want to bring in Bourbon or something, Brian, holler at me and I'll do it. I'll try to go a little slower just in case you want to make that, move at some point. Sizemore is your batter. Brock will have to be held. Nothing on the Havoc. So Hall is going to pitch. Oh, you want to bring in Bourbon right now to face Sizemore? I can do it. We will bring in Bourbon. If you think Hall is not going to cut it now, we will bring in Pedro Bourbon. Hall faced 2 batters, but that's all you have to face back in the day. It's not like the current things. Hello, Doug. All right, so with Sizemore, AG coming up, we're going to the bullpen for Pedro Bourbon. So Tom Hall pitched 1/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, and the runner on base is his responsibility. And now Pedro Bourbon will be on to face Ted Sizemore with a runner at first and 1 out. Yes, you do have to face 3 on another channel, which is disgusting. Same with the Ghost Runner. Stupid Ghost Runner on seasons that don't have Ghost Runners. Don't get that. And on this channel, you got to win your division to make the playoffs. You're not going to be a 4th place team and make the playoffs. You got to earn it on this channel. Not like that other channel. That other channel, socialists, having half the league be in the playoffs. Bourbon, 3-6. Single right field. That could score the run. The right fielder arm is Griffey. He's a +1. Brock was a 17. Was being held, makes him a 16, but the +1 brings it back to a 17. Brian, if you throw through, then Sizemore will take second on the throw in a 1-17. They are down 3-2. Do you want to take the risk of throwing home, or do you want to cut the throw off, and keep it to a 1-run game? Only 1 run scoring, and the other guy not in scoring position. It's up to you. If you want to throw for the plate or not, it would be a 1-17. That he'd be safe. Try it. Okay, 1-17. Here comes a throw from Griffey. Nope, he's in there, and that means Sizemore will take second on the throw. Cardinals lead it now 4-2. Sizemore takes over at second base, so that takes a double play out of the equation. And here's Tommy Agee. 2, chance for a balk or a pass ball. We're looking at a pass ball chance again on Johnny Bench, and his pass ball rating is a 3. He already had 1 pass ball in this game. Not this time. Okay, before bone. 2-7, and that's a strikeout of Tommy Agee for out number 2. That brings up Simmons. Now Simmons is up with Torrey on deck, so first base is open. If you want to walk Simmons and pitch to Torrey, righty on righty, we can do that. If you want to let Bourbon pitch to Simmons, we can do that too. Oh, Tabby, I was not inviting you. Well, while we wait for this, we're going to intentionally walk Simmons as soon as Tabby moves out of the way. Tabby, I did not call you up here. What are you doing over here? You got to move. You got to move. Come on. Come on. You got to move. Come on. Don't put your tail in my coffee either. Come on. Go back over here where you belonged. All right. So we're going to intentionally walk Simmons. Set up a force at any base with 2 outs. And they're going to have a righty-on-righty matchup with Joe Torrey, who is 0 for 3 in this game. So Bourbon to Torrey. That's a 5-6. That's a 118 single, but it's only 1 star, so the bases are now loaded for Ken Reitz, who's popped to short 3 times. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs, and Ken Reitz, your batter. Bourbon has to, well, that's a 1 chance for a wild pitch, but his wild pitch rating is only a 1. Not going to be a wild pitch, so Bourbon will pitch to Reitz. Oh, fix the focus. Thank you. Tabby messed up the focus. Sorry about that. Messed up the focus on me. Let me fix that for you. All right, Ken Reitz now. Bourbon to Reitz. 3-11, and that's a foul out to third. So Ken Reitz has had a pop-up or foul out 0 for 4. So the Cardinals only get the 1 run, so throwing for Brock at the plate didn't cost them. It turns out not to have cost them. A run on 3 hits, no errors, and leave them loaded. So we go to the bottom of the 8th, and this is the fatigue inning for Rick Wise, and it's now a 4-2 ball game. Well, the Cardinals score 4 in real world, so if the Reds hold them to 4 and they come back and score 6, then everything will be good. If you're a Reds fan, here is Joe Morgan. It's heart of the order. Morgan, Greason, and Perez. They got to do it right here. This is the time to get it done. If you're going to do it with your big guns. Do it with the big guns. All right, Morgan against Wise. 5-7. 1-16 is a single. That'll be a base hit from Morgan. Leadoff single for Joe Morgan. And Morgan, of course, well, I didn't do, let's see, Rick Wise is a -1. So if he gets the lead, you're looking at a 1-16, which is a pretty good odds. So he's going to try to get that jump, 3-6. Little Joe can't get the lead, so he's got to hold. And that will bring up Danny Dreesen. There's really not much on the bench left to pinch hit until you get to the bottom, so I think we're going to stick with Dreesen, Perez, and bench for a while. Wise, 1-9. And that's a 1-4 triple. That's a 9. It'll be a double. It'll be a double. It's assumed to go to center field when it's not marked. Center fielder arm, Agee is a -1. Morgan was being held. Makes him a 16, -1's a 15. 1-15. I'm thinking down by 2, you hold Morgan at third base with nobody out. But you can let me know if you want to risk it, Brian. But to me, the safe play down by 2 runs is to hold Morgan at third base. That's what I would, if I was playing it myself, that's what I would do. But you're free to override that if you want to be aggressive. Okay, hold him. There we go. Second, third, nobody out. Now the Cardinal bullpen is starting to loosen as Wise is close to getting his fatigue rating. And in the bullpen, right-hander Diego Segui is loosening the bullpen, along with the mad Hungarian Al Hrabowski. They are both loosening in the pen, just in case. If they get down to Griffey, you'll probably see Hrabowski. All right, Rick Wise against Tony Perez. The infield for the Cardinals is back because they lead by 2, and they need outs. Rick Wise, 1 batter away from reaching fatigue. Facing Perez, 4-5. Ground ball third base B, but with the infield back, that should score the run. I think the run on second has to hold, but we will see. We'll check it out on our little board here. Runner advancement board. Super advanced runner advancement board. Second and third, infield back, and you get a B. B, and you get it's a number 5. Number 5 says if hit to second or short, batter out, runners advance one base. Otherwise, batter out, runners hold. Okay, so let's see. 4-5 was hit to third. So this is saying on here that the runner has to hold. All runners have to hold because if it wasn't hit to second or short, it was hit to the corner. So this says batter out, runners hold. That's what I'm going by. I thought the run would score, but apparently not. 5-3 ground out. One away for Johnny Bench. And boy, if you had a lot of guts, you could walk Johnny Bench right here. I know it's putting the winning run on base, but he's such a good hitter, but I just think you can't do that. So, all right, so Rick Wise still in there against Johnny Bench. Infield still back. That's a 3-7 for Bench. It's not going to matter where they are now. 1-3 is a double. That's a 20. It's a single, 2 stars, and that's good enough to score both runs to tie this ball game at 4. We are tied at 4. Probably should have walked Bench, but Rick Wise wanted to go after him, and that's going to be all for Rick Wise. His day is done. He is now tired, and we're going to see a double switch. Good thing RJL is not here because we will see a double switch with the Mad Hungarian. And the Cardinals will have to bring in a new fielder. Let's see who that. Probably Ken Reitz might come out because he's 0 for 4. But he's a good fielder. You hate to take him out. That's the bad part. They could pinch hit for or remove Joe Torre. He hasn't really done much. So that's a possibility. Agee 0 for 4. They could definitely take him out of there. But you lose defense if you do that. But you might have to do what you have to do. Boy, it's a tough call. Tough call for the St. Louis manager. What do they wish to do? They're going to make a double switch and bring Luis Melendez into play center field and bat 9th. And Al Raboski will hit in Agee's number 3 spot. This is now the pitcher spot. Melendez in center field. He's a 3 with a +1 arm and an E4. So except for the arm, he's actually a little bit better than Agee, but just has lesser arm. But that's what they need to do. So Melendez will now bat in the number 9 position, formerly held by Wise. And the number 3 position, formerly held by Agee, is now the spot of Al Raboski. So Raboski, the Mad Hungarian, is going to come on in now a tie game. So Wise can't win it. He could lose it. If Bench scores, he could be the losing pitcher. But we'll see what happens. Up to this point, Rick Wise has pitched 7 1/3 innings. And he's given up 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hits. 4 runs, all earned so far. Possible 5th run. And let's check his walks and strikeouts. He didn't walk anybody. No walks issued. And he struck out 1, 2, 3, 4 strikeouts. So Al Raboski coming on. And Melendez will be the new center fielder, batting in the 9th position, where he comes up 3rd next inning. And Al Raboski will take over for Agee and be in his 3rd position. All right, so Ken Griffey stepping to the plate after all that maneuvering. All right, so Raboski against Griffey. Bench. I don't think he's going to be held. I'll double check it. No, he's not going to be held. Raboski on the Havoc, a 2, possible balk or pass ball. It's a balk rating, but his balk rating is a 0, so we're going to keep it going. Raboski 6-6. It's a fly to left. 2 down, and that's going to bring up Geronimo. Minky is on deck. He took over at short for Cheney. Raboski 5-6 to the lefty, struck him out. So Raboski comes in and does the job after the fact, but is now tied at 4. And we can close the book on Wise. He gave up 4 runs, all earned. So we go to the 9th with a 4-4 tie. Remember, Cincinnati beat them 6-4 in real world, so we're pretty close to it. And coming up for the Cardinals, it will be Carbo, Tyson, and Melendez. And I'm assuming Brian B wants to keep Bourbon out there. Bourbon will bat second next inning. So I'm assuming we're keeping Bourbon as we are tied into the top of the ninth. Here on the Game of the Week. Next week, stay in the National League, Houston at Los Angeles. Jerry Royce against Andy Messersmith. So Bourbon pitching to Carbo. 1-6 for Carbo, struck him out. Carbo out on strikes. One down for Mike Tyson, shortstop. Now, do we pinch hit for Tyson is the question. 243 hitter, that's a possibility. Let me look at the Cardinal bench and see who they might want to go to. They're going to pinch hit. Kelleher is going to come in and play short, so Tyson's out of there. Kelleher is going to come in and play short, but pinch hitting in this situation is going to be Bake McBride. So Bake McBride's going to pinch hit for Tyson, and Kelleher will stay in the game to play short, with Tyson being, pardon the pun, knocked out of the game. So McBride will pinch hit right here. And the new shortstop would be Kelleher. So let's get his defense. Mick Kelleher. Take over at short. He's a 2E36, a little bit better defender. Runs at a 12. Okay. That's where we are. So Pedro Bourbon will be taking on Bake McBride with one out and nobody on here in the top of the ninth. And fix the focus again. Looks like it got a little messed up doing all that maneuvering. So let's fix that. All right. Diego Segui still loosening in the Cardinal bullpen in case they need him for the bottom of the ninth. But right now, Bourbon to McBride, 112. It's a ground ball back to Bourbon for out number 2, and McBride fails in the pinch. Here's Louis Melendez. He came in on the double switch. Facing Bourbon, 6-7. That's a ground ball to third. Dreesen has it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Bourbon. So Bourbon gets out of it, and now the Reds have a chance to walk it off. Roboski will stay in the game, at least temporarily, to face the left-handed hitting. Actually, no, it's the right-handed hitting Minky. It's going to be Minky, a pinch hitter for Bourbon. And then Pete Rose. So in the bench, or on the bench, we have Stahl, King, Plummer, and Gagliano. So I'm not sure, Brian B., who you want. If you want the best average, it's probably Gagliano. Because if Roboski's lefty on lefty, you might not want to have them here. Plummer's terrible. We don't want to use him except in an emergency, I would think. So I'm assuming Gagliano would be the pinch hitter on this. So let's get Gagliano's card out. That's the one thing about Strat that I wish Inside Pitch had, was team colors, because when you start mixing these guys together, they all start to look alike. They don't have team colors, so they're harder to differentiate. So let me find Gagliano. Yeah, 290. Pretty good hitter, 290. Phil Gagliano. So Gagliano is going to pinch hit for the pitcher, Bourbon. And I'm assuming you'd want Clay Carroll to come in. You got left, right, and a pinch hitter for the Cardinals coming up in the top of the 10th if it gets that far. So we're going to have Minky, Gagliano, and Rose, your scheduled hitters here in the bottom of the 9th against Al Roboski. He faced 2 batters, got them both out, so he's going to stay in there. Mad Hungarian, 5'9", struck him out. Mad Hungarian continues to be mad. And now here is Gagliano. That leaves Plummer, King, and Stahl on the bench. They've got Bainey, Carroll, and Tomlin in the bullpen. Roboski, 3-7. Gagliano struck him out. Mad Hungarian is on a warpath here. 2 down for Pete Rose. Looks like we might be going to some free baseball, as I'd say on that other channel. Raboski to Rose. 4-5, but that's a double for Pete Rose. Pete says not so fast. That's his 3rd double of the game. 3 for 5. He struck out twice and doubled 3 times. He will be held at second. Joe Morgan is your batter, but I believe they're going to intentionally walk Morgan because his run means nothing. And they're going to have Dan Dreesen hit, although that's very dangerous because he's a dangerous hitter, even against lefties. But they just feel like they can't let Joe Morgan beat him. So Raboski will be facing Dreesen. 1st and 2nd, 2 outs. Ball game on the line. Are we going to extra innings, or is the game going to be over? Column 1 could be bad news for St. Louis. It is column 2 instead. 2 nines, a ground ball to short, and we got free baseball. That's kind of the outside the box managing you won't find on the other channel, that's for sure, because he's autopilot all the way. And we're going to free baseball. That's going to do it. Raboski is done because he's going to be pinch hit for. He bats 3rd this inning, so he will be pinch hit for right here. This could be Brock Sizemore and a pinch hitter. Close the book on Raboski. He went an inning and 2/3. Struck out 3. Gave up, he walked 1, which was intentional. I don't even want to count that against him. That was more for strategy. 1 hit and no runs. Bourbon finished the book on Bourbon. He went 2 innings, or did it go? He went a 1/3 of an inning. Let's see here. Yeah, he went a 1/3 of an inning. Gave up 2 hits. Inning and 2/3 rather. Gave up 2 hits. A walk, which was intentional, and 2 strikeouts. No runs. So, Brian B., who am I pitching here for the Reds? Since we pinch hit for the pitcher, we have to have another pitcher for the Reds. It's either going to be, I'm assuming it's Clay Carroll, but you may want to go in another direction. But Clay Carroll is the best they have left on the bench. If I use Tomlin, he's on the computer. I've got to use him from the computer. So Clay Carroll is who we're going. We still have Dick Bainey. I don't know much about Bainey, but he was 2-1 with a 2.98 ERA, so not bad. But we're going with Clay Carroll, 8-8, 3.71, and 14 saves. So Clay Carroll, and we're at the number 4 spot in the order, so I'm assuming no double switches because I don't really think they have anybody else to play in these other positions anyway. So it's going to be Clay Carroll. He'll be the 4th pitcher used by the Reds. And Diego Segui would come in for the Cardinals to pitch in the bottom of the 9th as Raboski is done. Looking at the Cardinal bench, looks like they could be using McCarver as a pinch hitter. Jose Cruz was only 227. McCarver was 266. So McCarver will pinch hit when it gets to here. But first it's Brock, Sizemore, and then McCarver. So Lou Brock will lead things off against Clay Carroll. Top of the 10th, free baseball on the NBC Game of the Week. Carroll to Brock, 3-8, and that's a strikeout. He strikes out Brock. That's the 3rd time for Brock. He's got the hat trick on strikeouts. And here is Ted Sizemore. 4-7, right-handed. Struck him out. Clay Carroll, another strikeout. 2 down, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Ted Simmons. I'm sorry, not the catcher, Ted Simmons. It's going to bring up, why did I say the catcher? It's going to bring up McCarver. Simmons is on deck. So McCarver is your batter. Pinch hitting. So McCarver will pinch hit. And Segui will be the new pitcher for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 10th. Carroll to McCarver. 5-7, and that's a single. 2-out single for Tim McCarver. They don't have much else on the bench to run, I don't think, unless you want to use Jose Cruz. He only runs at a 15, whereas McCarver runs at a 13. However, by bringing Cruz on, you were forcing the Reds to hold the runner. So they're going to bring in Cruz as a pinch runner. He's got the asterisk, so if you don't hold him, he gets the lead automatically. So Cruz will pinch run, and he runs at a 15. So he will pinch run for McCarver, and that means they're going to have to hold him. Now, will he try to get the lead? Doubtful. It's still a -5. So even if he got the lead, you'd be looking at a 1-9. So he's not going to get the lead or try for it, but he will have to be held. All right, so Carroll facing Ted Simmons with the new runner, Cruz, on first base. 3-4, and that is a ballpark single check, which for a switch hitter batting left is a 1-7. That's a 16. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a ground ball to first to end the inning. So nothing doing there for the Reds. For the Cardinals, rather. And Diego Segui is your new pitcher for the Cardinals. Segui, 7-6, 2.79 ERA and 17 saves. He will be in there to face Perez, Bench, and Griffey. Heart of the order here in the bottom of the 10th. And if the Reds somehow had a 2-run home run to walk it off, we'd have an exact score of 6-4. How about that, Brian? All right, so Segui, 5'7", is a ground ball second base X. Second baseman is Sizemore. He is a 3 E18. So as a 3, he needs a 5 or higher, and he gets it, so it's G1. E18, he's got to avoid 13, 3, and 18. And he does. So it's good play by Sizemore to retire Perez, 1 down. Problem is, with this score sheet, it runs out after 10 innings, so I might just score on the back if it keeps going for a lot of innings. Segui to Bench, 4-10. That's fly ball to center field. 2 down, and that's going to bring up Ken Griffey. He is 0 for 4. Talking about being due, he is definitely 0 for 4, and he is definitely due. 6-8 against the lefty is a 1-2 single, but that's a 9. He lines it to first, and we're going to the 11th inning. 11th inning we go. Clay Carroll back out. He can go several innings. He's not in any pinch, although he does come up third next inning. And Joe Torre is your leadoff man. It'll be Torre, Reitz, and Carbo due up for the Cardinals here in the 11th. 1-3, and that's a single. There's no clutch involved. It's just a single for Joe Torre. He will not be held, as he doesn't go anywhere. Reitz, not a very good bunter. He'd be a D bunter with the corners in, so they're going to have him swing away. Carroll to Reitz. 1-7, and that's a 1-19 single, so that's a single 1 star. And that will move Torre to second base. So runners at first and second with nobody out for Bernie Carbo. Carbo looking to do some damage. 3-9, and that's a strikeout, a huge one too. 3-9 is a strikeout on Carbo. 3-9 is a strikeout. Third time Carbo is struck out. Here's Kelleher, his first at bat since coming in as a defensive replacement because McBride pinch hit for Tyson. So here's Kelleher, first and second with 1 out. Clay Carroll trying to get out of the mess. 5-5. That's a strikeout. He's not tired, so the strikeout is good. And now Melendez, the number 9 hitter after the double switch from previous innings, he's in there. Try to be the hero. Carroll to Melendez. 6-6. It's a single 2 stars, and he gives the Cardinals the lead. Single 2 stars. Torre will score. Reitz takes third. And now the Cardinals lead at 5-4 with Lou Brock coming to the plate and runners at the corners. Melendez will be held. No, he won't be held. Take it back. He will not be held. He will not be held. My bad. Yeah, I'm running out of room here on the score sheet, but if it ends in 11 innings, then I won't have to worry about it. Clay Carroll to Lou Brock with runners at the corners and 2 outs. Oh, he wants Tomlin. Hold on. Let me bring... Tomlin is a computer card, so I got to bring up the Strat computer to get his card. And I'll have to show it. If we roll a 4 through 6, I will show it on camera. So let's get his card up here. Tomlin. I don't have any way to expand. Let's see. Let me try put it in I'm going to try putting it in snipping tool and see if I can make it bigger. Because it doesn't really show very well off the Strat computer. It's just not very large. Oh, Tabby, you need to be quiet now. Okay. Tabby. Tabby. All right, so I don't know how well it's going to show up on the computer, but that is Tomlin's card. That's what I'm using, is this card here for Tomlin. So we'll bring him on if we roll a 4, 5, or 6. We will use that. Tabby may need to go out of the room. It looks like I don't know what she's crying about something. Let me see if she wants to go out. Another delay. Let me see if Tabby wants to go out of the room. Come on, Tabby. All right, Tabby is out of the room now. But anyway, Brian B., if we roll a 4, 5, or 6, I will bring him up on the computer. So it's not going to be Carol anymore. It's going to be Tomlin. Dave Tomlin. He will be the new pitcher facing Lou Brock. For Clay Carroll, he went, let's see here. Clay Carroll, when did he come in? Now I'm getting confused when he came in. I think he came in to pitch the 10th. So he's pitched an inning and 2/3, as best I can tell. And he, let's see, struck out 4. Didn't walk anybody. Gave up, looks like 4 hits. Best I can tell is 4 hits. And the 1 run, but he's responsible for the 2 on base. But now it's Tomlin against Lou Brock. Now if we roll a 1, 2, or 3, we'll just look at Lou Brock against the lefty. And if we roll 4, 5, 6, I'll have to bring the computer out. That's a 1, so now I've got to check Tomlin's wild pitch rating. He's a 0 on the wild pitch rating, so that's a good thing. Don't have to worry about that. .610, so we're going to have to go to Tomlin's card on the computer. .610 against a left-hander is a fly. I don't know how well it shows up on the screen here. It's a fly ball center field X. .610 against the lefty is a fly ball center field X, which means we're looking at Geronimo. You know he's going to get to it with a 1. The question is it going to be an error? He's an E4, and the only way he makes an error, is a 16 or an 18. Otherwise, the inning's over. And he makes the catch on that 7, so that's going to end the inning. Tomlin will get it done with a 1/3 of an inning. Carroll charged with just the 1 run. So now it is a 5-4 ball game as we go into the bottom of the 11th rather. So don't know how well that showed up, Brian B. I was trying to show as much as I could there. Hopefully that card showed up okay. So Segui back out for his 2nd inning of work. He could get the win. And for the Reds, it's Geronimo, Minky, and a pinch hitter. And they just don't have a whole lot left on the bench. I'm assuming Stahl would be the best guy they have left, but I'll double check it. Like I said, by the time you get to this part of their bench, you're looking at the dregs. Or as that other channel calls them, meh. Hal King hits 186, so I don't know if you want to use him. He's a 186 hitter. Stahl, where is Stahl's card? Got to find Stahl's card. One moment. I'm sorting through all this stuff to find Stahl's card. I got a mixture of stuff here, all mixed up. Where are you, Larry Stahl? There you are. Larry Stahl's a 225, so I'm assuming he would be the pinch hitter. I'm assuming Larry Stahl will pinch hit because he's better than King. That's all they have left, other than Plummer, who's terrible. So we're going to have Stahl, the pinch hitter. It's going to be Geronimo, Minky, and Stahl due up for the Reds. And they're going to hope to get at least somebody on so Pete Rose can come up with his 3 doubles. So Segui is out there. He's only faced 3 batters, so he's definitely good to go. Try to get the save. Bottom of the 11th, 5-4 Cardinals. Geronimo is 0 for 4. He's definitely due. 5-3 is a fly ball right field X. That is Carbo. He's a 3E8. 3E8 is a right fielder. A 3E8. So on a 3, he needs a 7 or higher to make the catch. 16, he does make the catch. Or he does get to it, I should say. E8, he's got to avoid 6, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Or 3. That is an 11. That's nowhere to be found on an E8. There is no 11 there, so it's a good play for Bernie Carbo. So he retires Geronimo for out number 1. Brings up Dennis Minke. Four, 8 against a right-hander is a 1 for a triple, but a 3 is a fly to center for out number 2. 2 down now. Somebody mentioned that King had power in that one column, so I don't know, Brian B., if you want to switch off and do King, or whether you want to stick with Larry Stahl. It's up to you how you might want to handle that. Let me find King's card again so I can look at it for sure. There he is. Hal King's got a tremendous column 3, but you got to be lucky and find it, otherwise you're screwed. So it is going to be King, not Stahl, because you need the long ball. Stahl would only get you a single, so it's not going to be Stahl. It's going to be King. So Hal King will pinch hit. Desperate times call for desperate measures. He's looking for the home run. He's looking for a home run that would do it, if at all possible. I've been slacking off on the left on bases and stuff over here from before. So let me update this stuff as best I can. All right, so Hal King is going to get the pinch hitting call, and if he gets a column 3, we could have a tie ball game. Simple as that. Segui to King. We get a column 4. 4-7 is a strikeout to end the ball game, so it didn't matter about who was pinch hitting. He strikes out, and there's your ball game. The St. Louis Cardinals beat the Cincinnati Reds 5-4 here in 11 innings. Flipped the script on a 6-4 score. They win it 5-4. Errors in the game, 1 on Cincinnati. That was on the third baseman, Dreesen. It was big. And no errors for the Cardinals. Base hits. We've got, let's see here, for the Cardinals, we have 2, 3, 5, 9. Looks like 9 hits for the Cardinals. So 5, 9, and 0 for St. Louis. For Cincinnati, let's see, Segui didn't give up anything in his 2 innings. He went 2 innings, didn't give up anything, got the win. Also recorded a strikeout. So I've got them for 12 hits. 4, 12, and 1 for Cincinnati. So there's your ball game in 11 innings. And with that win, I'll have to put it in the computer, score the game on the computer to record the win. But the Cardinals now are 73 and 55. They now take a 4-game lead on the Pirates. Cincinnati drops to 69 and 62. They are now 13 and a half behind the Giants, and they're just awful. They're just underperforming big time. So the Cardinals win it, take a 4-game lead on the Pirates. Next game will be the Houston Astros at the Los Angeles Dodgers as the Dodgers try to catch San Francisco. That will be next week, and by next Saturday, the computer may have them closer, may have them wider. We'll have to wait and see. But that's all that's going on there. If all things go as planned, I will be on Jeffrey Guterman's channel tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock playing the 69 ALCS co-op with him. And then tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, it'll be the Boston Red Sox hosting the Cleveland Indians on Inside Pitch 1967. Boston has to win to stay in the pennant race, or else the Tigers will clinch the pennant with a Boston loss. So appreciate all you guys being here, and especially Brian B. for his managing. So thank you all. I missed RJL. He must have been busy working or doing something. Maybe he'll catch it later. I don't know. I'm sure he's got a game tonight on his channel. But Tabby, thanks you for coming in and putting up with her little delay. But there you go. Final score 5-4 in 11 innings. Cardinals beat the Reds. This will be fun to enter into the Strat computer because It's a lot of changes. I got to remember. I got to remember who did what. My score sheet's rather messy. Hopefully, I can decipher it. But anyway, that's going to do it from here. Hope you all enjoy your weekend. Stay safe out there, and if you are going to roll some games, have fun rolling whatever game you choose to play, whether it's Strat, Inside Pitch, Payoff Pitch, or APA, or whatever. And hope you all have a good time. That's the whole point of the hobby, is to have fun. So until next time, Chuck, I will let her know. I will definitely let her know. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.